sending Patrick Ewing down to the other end of the floor to possibly set up their home run play, where after a miss or make of these free throws, the long pass will be thrown to Patrick Ewing, who will catch and probably try to kick it back out for a three-pointer on the run.
The Bulls lead by 3.
And New York, of course, is out of timeouts. That's why Patrick Ewing is down the floor right now. And here comes the 39% three-point shooter replacing Oakley, which means Mason will try to throw this long pass to Ewing, who will look for Anthony, Harper, or Davis on the trail.
The Knicks do not have any timeouts remaining. And Phil Jackson with the message, do not foul on the three-point attempt. And Armstrong gives the Bulls a 4-point lead. Here's that long pass. Harper able to come up with it, and he is fouled by Purdue. So 4 6/10 seconds to go. That is the worst possible play you could make from the point of view of the Chicago Bulls. It stops the clock. It puts Harper on the line. He can cut it to a 2-point lead, and many things can happen with 4 seconds to go.
Well, Will Purdue was so intent on pressuring Patrick Ewing. Actually, the pass was over the head of both people, and Purdue, out of position and off balance, almost just forced himself to run into Harper and to do nothing but foul him.
All right, it's a 3-point lead now. Does Harper try to miss on purpose for the possibility of getting the ball on a 3-point shot, or does he try to convert and then the Knicks go for the steal?
I say miss it and try to stop the ball back outside.
Bulls by 3. 4 8/10 seconds to go. Well, Harper does hit it. All right.
Well, we're not sure what he tried to do there.
That's true.
But the way everybody was crashing the boards, it looked like I think the Knicks were expecting him to miss it, but the Knicks are probably just going to have to and will commit a very quick foul here and again try the home run play. So if the inbound passer, which normally is Scottie Pippen in these situations because he makes good decisions, doesn't like what he sees, he can take the timeout. The Bulls would like to get the ball into B.J. Armstrong, their best free throw shooter, but the Knicks will probably do their level best to double team him without the ball to keep him from catching and take their chances with somebody else.
Well, Matt, this is a matchup of two clubs that have had their difficulties. The Knicks at 12 and 11 and the Bulls at 12 and 12. You look back to Christmas Day a year ago, and what a difference. The Knicks leading the Atlantic Division, record of 17 and 6, 3.5 in front of Orlando. And right here, they face the possibility of a 5th straight loss and a 500 record. While the Bulls last season, and this coming off the departure of Michael Jordan, remember, they were an enormous surprise with that record of 16 and 8, a game and a half in front of another surprise team, the Atlanta Hawks.
And one player is probably directly involved with those two switches in the standings of the Eastern Conference, and that is Horace Grant going to Orlando, who is just zoomed by everybody, not only in the East, but for Phoenix is there as well. And of course, Horace Grant leaving this team has really hurt them severely, and this team being the Chicago Bulls.
All right, 4 and 8/10 seconds remaining. Pete Myers will throw in from deep in the backcourt. Patrick Ewing on the ball. The Bulls lead by 2 points. Myers got it into Kukoc. That was nearly picked off by Anthony, and a foul is called. Greg Anthony almost came up with the steal.
New York personal foul.
And Anthony is sixth. Ewing is called for the foul.
Well, the pressure by Patrick Ewing on the inbound passer, Pete Myers, forced that to be a bounce pass, which is a slower pass, and gave Greg Anthony a chance to possibly steal that and almost force Kukoc into losing possession there. Patrick Ewing had just a marvelous ball game in many, many areas and just could not get his teammates to pick up the slack, although he made a lot of good passes, and a lot of that passing was contagious, but John Starks never really got going offensively and thrown out of the ball game, as there is still life for the New York Knicks.
Kukoc 7 of 12 at the line. 3 and 3/10 seconds remaining. Charles Smith has replaced Patrick Ewing. The Bulls lead by 3. Now the Knicks need the long pass and a 3-point attempt. But Kerr slaps away. Davis for 3. Yes! Hubert Davis has tied the game with 4/10 of a second remaining. Davis knocks down the three-pointer. You recall it was Hubert Davis in the playoffs last season off the controversial call by Hugh Hollins, who was able to hit clutch free throws that beat the Chicago Bulls. But, Matt, you look back at this, and you have to look back to that foul by Will Perdue. It really hurt the Bulls, and it shows you just never know, even with seconds remaining.
Well, this was a terrible pass by Anthony Mason. Again, looking for the long home run pass to Charles Smith, overthrown. And Steve Kerr, all he has to do is catch this ball, but instead he decides to slap it and right into the hands of the open Hubert Davis as Steve Kerr puts his hands on his head as Patrick Riley is that yes, there is still life in the New York Knicks as they'll get another chance in overtime. However, 0.4 of a second, the Bulls will possibly get a chance to launch another shot with 0.4.
And Pat Riley watching the shot in disbelief. And he's probably saying it's about time we get a break.
And a big break, and Steve Kerr right away put his hands on his head as he just said to himself, I cannot believe what I just did. Especially, Mark, since he had the opportunity to catch the ball. It was clearly in his vision, in his hands, all he had to do was catch it, but for some reason decided to tap it back out.
Hubert Davis hitting his second from downtown. He's 3 of 4 overall for 9 points. And Hubert, over the last 16 games, has shot about 35%. So you know the significance of this to Hubert Davis in his third year out of North Carolina, able to contribute after having a very difficult time here in the early going.
Well, I had been wondering why he went with Hubert Davis, who has not been effective, and not Greg Anthony earlier. I guess that's the reason why. It'll be interesting to see who brings the ball in for the Chicago Bulls. This is a switch. Tony Kukoc with 0.4 of a second. The guy who has made so many shots at the end of ball games, 3 in the regular season, the big one against New York in the playoffs with the big three-pointer. He will not shoot this one. He'll be the inbound passer.
0.4 of a second remaining in regulation. The game is tied at 100. And Kukoc will throw in. Pippen! No contact made. Time has not run out, although the horn went off. I believe there still should be time on the clock. No one touched it. So the Knicks will take over with 0.4 of a second remaining.
And the Knicks got away with a little bit of an illegal timeout there. They are out of timeout. Steve Jabbey hustles them over as they'll get the ball in midcourt, and they get an opportunity, and we'll look for Harper or Davis.
Mason will throw in. Perdue guarding on the inbound. Mason for Herb Williams, but it's intercepted as Armstrong took a shot in coming up with that errant pass. And we head to overtime. The Knicks and Bulls tied at 100. We'll be back in a moment. The United Center in Chicago. The Knicks and the Bulls are tied at 100. Marv Albert with Matt Gukas and Ahmad Rashad. The Knicks will have to go to overtime without Patrick Ewing, who fouled out, and without John Starks, who was ejected. Ewing leading the Knicks with 30 points, equaling a season high. Charles Oakley with a season high of 20. Scottie Pippen, the high man for the Bulls, with 29, and Tony Kukoc with 25. But that man, Hubert Davis, with a fling from three-point land, able to tie the game with 0.4 of a second remaining. For the Knicks, it is their second overtime game of the season. They beat Philadelphia in their earlier OT, while Chicago 0-2 in overtime, and both losses here at home.
Well, going into overtime as a coach, you always tell your teams to come out and be the most aggressive team, both ends of the floor. Don't go out tentative at all. Of course, the advantage goes over to the Chicago Bulls right now with Patrick Ewing out of the ball game, fouling out. Pippen and Kukoc have that ability, drive to the basket, make things happen, make it strong.
Herb Williams coming on for Patrick Ewing. Williams with Smith and Mason up front. Harper and Davis in the backcourt. The Knicks shooting 50% for the game, and the Bulls 46%. Davis guarded by Myers.